Hello and welcome to Maulana Azad National Urdu University. This lesson is for students of BA, BSc and BCom for the Ability Enhancement Compulsory course. The title of the course is English Communication Skills. We are continuing with Unit 1. Do you remember in the last class we talked about the classification and description of consonant sounds? And in the last class we talked about the first part of classification, that is voicing. Under voicing, in the last class, we talked about voiced consonants and voiceless consonants. In the lesson today, which is a continuation of Unit 1 of your English Communication Skills course, we are talking about place of articulation. In the last lesson, I told you how in the classification of consonants, we have voicing, we have place of articulation, and we have manner of articulation. Place of articulation also means the point of articulation. It is the point at which the particular consonant sound is created, uttered, or articulated. There are 8 different places of articulation of the consonant sounds. We shall take up each one of them one after the other now. Let us look at the first one now. It is called bilabial. As you can look at your screens, the word bilabial refers to both the lips coming close together in the articulation of this particular consonant sound. Bi is to, labial referring to lips. So bilabial meaning 2 lips. 2 lips come together in the articulation of these consonant sounds. You can look at the 3 examples given on your screen. Pen, park, pencil. The sound of the letter P, P. Pen, park, pencil. Do you notice my lips when I say pen, park, pencil? The 2 lips come close together. Please pronounce along with me. Pen. Did you find your lips come close together when you said P? Yes. P, pen, P, park, P, pencil. So you have the 2 lips coming together in the articulation of the P sound. Hence we can say that this is a bilabial. The place of articulation is the lips, the 2 lips coming close together. The second place of articulation that we shall talk about in today's class is labiodental. Again, the term gives the meaning. Labio referring to lips, dental referring to teeth. In this, the upper teeth and the lower lip come together in the articulation. Look at the sounds of f and v as given in the examples. Fit, fat, voice, violent. F, fit, fat, voice, v, violent. Did you notice the role of the lower lip and the upper teeth in the articulation of fit, fat, voice, violent? Let us look at the third place of articulation, dental or interdental. Again, the term itself clearly indicates to us what is more important in the articulation of these consonants. The tip of the tongue in the articulation of these consonants is placed between the teeth. Listen to the examples. Thick, thin, thought. And you also have that, then, this. The tip of the tongue is used and the teeth are also close together in the utterance of these words, these sounds. Listen to me once again. Thick, thin, thought. That, then, this. To understand the slight variation in sound between the first 3 and the second 3, it is important that you remember that in the first 3 words, the sound that we use to represent TH is more like our native sound th, whereas the th in the last three words is more close to the sound of the in our native languages. So it is thick, thin, thought, but, that, then, this. Let us now look at the fourth place of articulation. This is the alveolar. The alveolar ridge is that part of the roof of your mouth that is just behind the upper teeth. So in the utterance of these consonant sounds, the sound starts at the tongue and is pushed forward to the alveolar ridge. Top, dry, lost, net, sing, zone. I repeat each of the words again. Please listen carefully to the sound that I utter for the letters that are used in a different color. Top, dry, lost, net, sing, zone. If you're comfortable, let us move on to the next place of articulation. This is the post-alveolar. Under the post-alveolar place of articulation, the tongue is placed behind the alveolar ridge in the sound of the letter R, as in red, rock, real. Repeat with me so you understand where your tongue is when this sound is uttered. Red, rock, real. Let us now move to the next one. This is the palatal. Here the tongue is pressed hard against the palate. The hard palate is behind the alveolar ridge before the soft palate. It is almost the middle part of your roof of the tongue. The sound of y, as in yellow, yolk, young. Notice where your tongue is when you say yellow, yolk, young. If you concentrate and pay attention to where the tongue is, you will know what the hard palate is. I repeat, yellow, yolk, young. Let us move on. We are now looking at palato-alveolar. In your book, it is palate-alveolar, but when palate and alveolar come together, it becomes palato-alveolar. Here, the tip or the blade of the tongue is used. You can divide the tongue into four parts for understanding articulation. The first part is the tip. The tip is closest to the lips. Behind it is the blade, then you have the front of the tongue, and then you have the back of the tongue. In the case of palato-alveolar, we use either the tip or the blade of the tongue. The words given for your examples are ship, July, chip, sh as in ship, j as in July, ch as in chip, ship, July, chip. We are now looking at velars. Velars are produced at the back of the roof of the tongue. Velum is also the soft palate, the last part of your mouth, the roof of the mouth. In this, the back of the tongue and the velum are used, as you can see on your screen. The example words that you need to practice to understand velars are kite, goat, dancing. Kite, goat, dancing. Again, as you utter these sounds, as you articulate these words, pay attention to the consonants in them. Notice where the sound is being articulated from. Kite, goat, dancing. This is the last place of articulation. We have already studied 7. We are now looking at the 8th and the last one. This is the glottal. The sound is uttered in the region of the throat. The sound of h, house, high, hill. Pay attention. House, high, hill. You notice that this sound is created when there is restriction of air way back towards the region of the throat. In today's lesson, which is a continuation of your first lesson, we looked at the place of articulation. In Unit 1, you talk about voicing, you talk about place of articulation, and you also talk about manner of articulation. In the lesson today, we looked at the 8 places of articulation for the consonant sounds in English. We have noticed how each of the terms that are used in the description of these places or almost self-explanatory. For example, when we say bilabial, the two lips coming together, or labiodental, the use of the lips and the teeth. Similarly, all the other places of articulation. Before we close this lesson, I would like you to quickly look at the 8 places of articulation. On your screen, you can see the 8 places of articulation being reflected. These 8 places of articulation that you need to learn are bilabial, labiodental, dental or interdental, alveolar, palatal, palatalveolar, velar and glottal. I hope with this you are familiar with the place of articulation. In the course of later lessons or in the course of your contact cum counseling classes, we'll make every effort to ensure that you are more familiar with the place of articulation in the classification of consonants. On your screen reflected now are some questions. Please attempt to answer these. In case of any doubts, feel free to seek the advice of the academic counselor at your Learner Support Center, or you may directly contact any of the subject coordinators at the headquarters. Thank you, and we look forward to meeting you again in the next lesson.